I'll be joining a challenge. Recently, Sam Does Arts asked everyone to draw his OCs in your own style. I'm starting off with one of his OCs named Tessa. I think she has such a vibe. So on this one, I wanted to get it right for Sam, so I looked up a tutorial on how to draw the planes of the face. I was having trouble with this before, and I was kind of putting the facial features and, the bone structure of the face based on intuition. So this time I'm like, I need to learn the technique. I think it was a game changer. So do your homework, learn the planes of the face, find tutorials, you'll do great, and just stick in there because you know what? It's gonna really change your art, and it's nice to know at least a foundation before you break the rules, She's going to be my number 8 of my 100 heads challenge, so woo woo! I think Tessa's hair took me the longest, because I don't know, personally, when it comes to hair, I think you just have to go with trial and error and your instinct. Even though I do use a reference, I kind of use it as a guide. I don't beat myself up if it's not 100% accurate. I think you just find it generally more aesthetically pleasing when you make one side of the hair really busy with a lot of complicated shapes and the other side more simple, so your eye has like this sort of balance when it looks at the face. I'm painting the skin using a wet on dry technique, which is when you don't wet the paper before adding paint. I think this has become my preferred method for drawing skin. You really have a lot of control over where the paint is going, and you can achieve a really soft skin look. Also, for this portrait, I'm using Arches paper for the first time, and I am shaking internally. I'm so looking forward to see if I feel a difference with this paper. I colored in Tessa's eyes just to make them less creepy. I took multiple breaks throughout painting the hair. Tessa's hair is an ombre of black to silver, and I was really struggling to capture that ombre effect, and I didn't want the silver to look like it was just a highlight. If you've seen Sam's art, then you'll know that he has a very stylized art style. However, when you have a more realistic style like me, it's important to give some thought as to how you're going to interpret those characters into a more realistic style. And I found that capturing a character's personality actually makes them more identifiable. So you'll find that studying the character that you want to draw is actually a very good way of doing this. Duh. Let's take a look at Sam's illustrations of Tessa and keep an eye out for things that they have in common, such as the mood, body language, and just the general setting. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that the mood in each of these pieces is more or less on the serious side, and Tessa herself seems to be more of a down-to-earth person. You can see her body language is more restrained, and her facial expressions are more or less on the, serious side too. I mean, you don't see her jumping for joy or giving us a big smile. Now, when it comes to making more somber moods in your pieces, going in with the darker colors is definitely a go-to. So I colored in the background of my Tessa portrait with black, and I really love the effect. And that's one OC down, another one to go. So on to Kara. It took me a while to find a reference photo that I was satisfied with for Kara. So interestingly enough, my reference photo for Kara is actually a more dark-skinned person, but I really loved her smile and just, her eyes, they were so cheerful, and I mean, it really, I'm like, I saw that photo and I'm just like, that's Kara. In the sketching stage, there's always that one thing you just can't get right. And for me this time, it was the hair. To just clear our minds and renew our inspiration, let's go on a walk. I was going through a bit of an art block before starting this challenge, and you kind of feel intimidated to start anything new. I mean, you want to draw, but at the same time, you don't want to commit to a big project for one reason or other. And I found that finding a external motivation, like starting this Draw This in Your Style, which I thought would be a really fun challenge because it's my first Draw This in Your Style, and also figuring out what you want to achieve through what you're painting. Do you want to grow in your skills, just have fun, or try something new, a new medium? And that's what really helped me get motivated on Kara to come back and start drawing on her again. I was not feeling in the mood, so turning on music and listening to some Draw With Me videos in the background really helped me get in the mood. I actually draw silently. I don't usually have anything playing in the background. It's just me, what I'm drawing, and that's it. And I found that it's good to listen to things that you enjoy and put yourself in a good frame of mind, in a positive one. The outline is not pure white, and my vision was that the outline would be pure white, but I was using a metallic white gouache because I don't have any other. But then I remembered that I have white watercolor, and I'm going to give that one a try. See if anything would change. Don't you agree that outlining the hair in white made all the difference? My inspiration for the hair of this piece was actually Kellogg's loops. I really love how he plays with negative space in his pieces. As a bonus for you, let's draw another portrait. Originally, this was supposed to be for another Draw This in Your Style challenge, but I was having trouble with the proportions, which was leading to frustration, burnout, and all that not good stuff. And whenever this happens, taking a break and re-identifying your purpose is a must. And I remembered that I wanted to try a gouache portrait, but kind of stalled because I felt pressured by myself to create a masterpiece. But I'm going to create no matter how it turns out, so let's wing it together. This is not going as I expected. I wanted to try to approach it as an acrylic painting, but now I realize going dark right away might not have been the best idea because I feel like my sketch lines are erasing, and that's just like hours of work gone in a poof. So, I mean, you learn from your mistakes. You gotta trust the process sometimes, which is what I'm trying so hard to do here right now. Sometimes you just gotta turn off the criticism in your head and just do what logic tells you. I think sometimes it doesn't even make sense, but I found just going with the flow is going to give you the best results. And I'm so glad I kind of went with it and pushed through until the end because I think the result is just so worth it. Now, this is the first time I ever painted a portrait with gouache, and it's also the first time I painted someone with dark skin. Everywhere I heard really told me that it was hard and difficult and stuff, and I can't say it wasn't. There's a lot of depth to dark skin that I really actually enjoyed painting. I literally didn't even watch any gouache portrait painting tutorials before painting this, and so I was approaching it like watercolors, which, I mean, it worked, but I think this method gives you a more chalkier look. Next time I paint a gouache portrait, I'll approach it as you would an acrylic painting. The thing is, though, I haven't painted with acrylics in years, so that will be a fun thing to try out. As for my overall thoughts on this challenge, I think it's always beneficial to go out of your comfort zone and try something new. I think for me, because I went the extra push on these 3 portraits. They turned out my best so far in my 100 heads challenge.
Oh god.
My goal is to draw 100 heads over the course of this year, and we are getting there 1 portrait at a time. And here is the final reveal! Leave me a thumbs up in the comments so that I know you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe while you're at it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!